What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Does my forehead look really big? I feel like staring at it, like on the screen.
To start, no, it looks
I feel
fine.
like my forehead just looks like massive.
Have you gotten a haircut recently?
No, I have not.
I was gonna say maybe if it's cut, but no, it looks fine.
I feel like
It looks
massive.
fine.
Make sure my timestamps work. Yes, it did. Perfect. Love it. Hello everyone. Hello. Welcome back to episode number 107 of the Underground Circuit podcast. My name is Owen. That is my sister Casey.
Podcast.
Welcome to the Underground Circuit podcast. It is,
You said a podcast.
A podcast. It's a podcast. How we doing? I just lost my. You just broke my entire train of thought.
The way you started it sounded funny. A podcast.
A podcast. Welcome to a podcast about Formula One. Like I said, welcome. This is episode number 107. If you are new here, thank you for joining us. Make sure to go follow us over on Instagram and Threads at Underground Circuit, spelled exactly how the name of the show is spelled, with a trailing underscore. Over on Twitter at UG Circuit Pod, and over on TikTok at Underground_Circuit. Again, spelled exactly the same way as the name of the show is. Make sure to go follow us over there. Please also make sure, if you like what you're listening to, please make sure to go leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. That is the best way for us to grow on podcast charts. Get the word out there for who we are, what the show is, all that stuff. And let's do some more cool things for you guys. But we have a good one today. A lot happened between Miami. We'll talk Miami race. We will talk Barber for IndyCar.
Which is a great race.
Race at all as well. That was a great race. Both, honestly, races were really good. We'll talk that. Obviously, we'll start with our meme of the week news. We'll go into those two things. We'll wrap it up with some F1 Threads mailbags.
Which I only think there's one question. But
that's fine.
We have to do some news that just broke today.
Yeah.
Only a few hours ago. But yeah, it's going to be a good show. But first, maybe the week. Do you want me to go? Or do you want to go first? I guess I can go first because I have two. So if I go first, then you, and then the second one. So.
Wait, what? What was that?
I have two, but technically the second one is can be show related, not like our specific one.
Okay, all right.
So I'll go first, and then you, and then I'll reshare my screen again.
Okay.
But my meme of the week has nothing to do with anything relevant for Miami. Nothing about any weekly news. It's just a celebration of. It looks funny now. It's a celebration of the iconic.
Oh yes.
That happened 13 years ago yesterday. So I just had to share. It's such an iconic meme.
It's
so good.
So good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Oscar Piastri said it's one of the best memes. It's a moment in time. I don't know if that interviewer ever realized he was going to be interviewing two future F1 drivers.
Yeah.
And a iconic moment was born. But yeah, it's just also the way Charles says incident. It's so good. Never giving it up.
You kind of just said it, but it just cracks me up that it's this is a random, as far as this interviewer knows, or when this happens in time, this is just some random two kids that are really good karters. Mm-hmm. You know, they're people are like, oh, they're probably.
Well, obviously everyone knew who Max Verstappen was because of his dad, but
also at the same time, it's you're just interviewing these kids, and not only, like you said, are you interviewing two future Formula One race winners, but you're interviewing and you're creating one of the most iconic things that'll ever go down in Formula One meme history.
Yeah. And it's meme history. Literally, Max Verstappen will say incident whenever he gets a chance to.
Yeah.
Drops it on his Team Redline streams all the time. But yeah, the fact that it was only 13 years ago is kind of wild also.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Like
He
this
looks
will
so
happen.
different between, I'm just saying, like Charles here in the video
Yeah.
versus how he is now.
No, but
Looks
like when
so
you think
different.
about it, Max Verstappen has been in F1 for 10 years. This is 13 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like
That is insane.
that kid, it's not there's never a good shot of him. That kid,
He's
that's
3
the best I can
years
get.
away from being in
He's
Formula
3
One.
years away from being in a Red Bull junior team car on an F1 track. That's wild.
That's crazy. That is
That's
crazy.
That's crazy. Time is insane. But yeah, that was my meme of the week. I just had to do it. It was too good to be true. We love a good Verstappen moment,
Yeah.
but
Especially
yeah.
since it is the anniversary of it, like you said.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like it's too good. But that was the first meme. This is Owen's meme of the week.
I have to do a Star Wars one
Oh
because
yeah.
of the week that it is. May the fourth be with everybody. But this is from Revenge of the Sith, which is the best Star Wars movie. I will fight anybody till the day I die on this. I will die on this hill. Nobody argue me about it. I will fight you. This is from Revenge of the Sith, and it's when they say, I think Chancellor Palpatine is a Sith Lord, and it's Anakin talking to Mace Windu. It's actually saying, I think Flavio Briatore is a Sith Lord.
And I think they're correct.
I think they're correct too. I think it's the news today, we'll get more into it, but it's kind of crazy. Just this paired with just the clips also from this latest season of Drive to Survive is insane. So
well,
I
and
thought it
just
was
like
funny.
Flavio Briatore's like entire background of like Crashgate being banned for life to
Yep.
now being welcomed back in to now being team principal. Yeah, it's a little alarming, but yeah. So would that make Franco Colapinto Anakin Skywalker?
No, who would be Anakin Skywalker? Because it would be, well, I guess it could be Franco.
Because if you think
you're
about it,
saying-
is James Val's like Obi-Wan? Because that was Anakin's like original master. I don't want to give Franco that kind of a rep with Anakin Skywalker, but like he has the charisma of Anakin Skywalker in the first 3 movies.
He does. You're right. Although I've been seeing a lot of memes lately of Charles and Anakin Skywalker because of
Really?
Yeah, just because of like the
his
visual anger that he had with Ferrari this weekend.
Post race, yeah, it's like I think Frey posted and was like, Frey was one of the ones that said like Anakin in Clone Wars or something.
She was like, I'm here for the Anakin
Yeah.
Skywalker for Skywalkerification of Charles Leclerc. Like I'm all in on it.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one. This is the second one that I have, but it's kind of together. I don't know if you saw this, Owen, but I posted this on Threads because our good friend Mark Schofield had a cameo in Aston Martin's.
Yes, he did. He makes it like it's like front and center too.
That is Mark. That is Mark.
That's Mark. Hello, Mark.
But yeah, I had to share it because it was too good to be true.
What were you learning in the Aston Martin hospitality center, Mark?
Let us know, Mark.
What were the things that you were learning? Huh?
But yes, that was. Oh yeah, I texted you first, being like, "Is that Mark?"
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, "Yes, it is." But
I didn't even need to look at it for like less than a full second.
No, because when you save the TikTok, the screen, like what's it called? The
preview
photo,
pops up. Yeah,
is Mark.
it's literally just Mark's face.
The audio in that TikTok is hilarious too. So it's the fact that Mark's in the beginning and walks by, and then it's Fernando Alonso. But yeah, that was Mark's TikTok debut on Aston Martin. Honestly,
Congratulations, Mark.
Put that on like resume, LinkedIn, like TikTok cameo.
Oh yeah, TikTok
Aston
cameo
Martin.
for Aston Martin.
Yeah, this is totally random. The hilarious James Cocker on Instagram, on social media. I know he does acting on the side, like not on the side, like he is an actor and stuff. He's been in some different things. It's like as different characters. I was watching that 911 show, and I literally was like kind of zoned out, and I looked up and I was like, it's him. One
James?
scene. I was like, James? Is that you? And then like he starts talking and I'm like, yeah, that's James. That is James. But it just makes sense when he goes into that character with the matching tracksuit and he's at races. It just works.
He's
It
great.
just works perfectly.
Yeah.
But yes. Moving on to weekly news, as always, brought to you by IPF1 Store.com. To get 10% off using code underground10, underground spelled exactly the same way as the show, or go shop from the link in our bio. It's much easier. Weekly news. Literally, I think, what?
2 hours ago.
Yeah, I texted you and Mark saying,
Yeah.
hello? The Alpine news? Yeah, I texted at 3 o'clock, so
Yeah.
a little over 3 hours ago. We get the notification from Alpine. Everyone's thinking it's going to be that Jack Doohan's out and Franco Colapinto's in, which that's definitely coming now. But the news broke that Oliver Oakes has resigned from his role as team principal, effective immediately. Like, he's gone. He's done. He packed
He
up
will
his
be
stuff
out. He will
Sunday
not be
and
at Imola.
He's out. Which is wild. And that means, as of today, going back to Owen's meme, Flavio Briatore will continue as, this is directly from Alpine's statement, he will continue as the executive advisor, but will also cover duties previously performed by Oliver Oakes. So the man went from being kicked out of Motorsport to now back in a leadership role at Alpine. And honestly, Jack Doohan, I don't want to lose him from the grid, but get out of there.
Yeah, this it feels, kind of, it's definitely just because this is just right on my mind, but it feels like the moment in Revenge of the Sith where it's like the turn of the Republic to the Empire. And it's like, oh, we're in for some dark fucking times.
Yeah.
And it's like, and just the way that Flavio is, like, you just know that he's not going to take anybody's bullshit, and it's going to become that Alpine is like, oh, you pissed me off once? Okay, gone. Oh, you didn't perform in 2 races? Okay, gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's going to be. But
well, there's rumors. So obviously, like we said, there's now rumors that Franco will most likely be driving, starting in Imola, replacing Jack, but that he also has 6 races to prove himself.
So if he has 6 races, and let's say in 6 races he doesn't prove himself, where do we go from there, Alpine? Because now
they're gonna go Paul Aaron next.
But now you're halfway through the season. You have 12 more races. What are you going to take the races in fourths and do 6 the entire way?
Which is wild because Oliver Oakes was actually doing well with that team and giving it some success.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be changing out the second driver because they can't perform, that's relying solely on Pierre Gasly. And if you're not really bringing up, it's just setting them up. It's their downfall. I mean, I feel like they've been in their downfall since the Oscar Piastri. They posted this without my acceptance or whatever tweet, but
it's now to the point where sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Pierre is going to become the new Max Verstappen in the sense of he's going to have all the pressure of scoring points for that team solely on him.
Yeah.
And that is not going to go well with him. It's a shit ton of pressure to handle, and we saw Max Verstappen not like crack under that pressure, but feel the weight of that. And if Max can feel the weight of that, God knows Pierre is going to feel the weight of that. Like,
and the way Flavio moves, if Pierre's not performing, is he going to be out?
Right. It's literally, with Flavio at the helm now, it is literally just like all bets are off. Like,
it's literally anyone's game.
Yeah.
But I have 2 things. One, how does Pierre Gasly go from the Red Bull family that's kind of toxic and we're like, he's finally free, to Alpine, which is now maybe just as more toxic, if not more,
dude,
on the inside?
He's
like,
he's got to go to like a completely different team, like whatsoever. Like, go to like Mercedes, where Toto isn't like going anywhere anytime soon. Like, that's it.
Mm-hmm. And also, with this rumor, if Franco gets 6 races, we know how much money Franco Colapinto is going to bring in, and it's an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Flavio Briatore doesn't strike me as someone that wants to lose that money, but he also really doesn't care. So if he really only has 6 races, and then he says goodbye to Franco Colapinto, he's saying goodbye to a lot of money.
A
And
lot of money.
I was talking to someone before this. If it's Paul Aaron literally couldn't afford his F2 seat anymore because he was running out of money. So, like, what's he gonna... Yeah, they're a freaking mess.
They're a mess.
A mess.
And yeah, I don't know. It's like there's part of me that like leans to the logical side of like why you hire and bring in someone like Flavio, because you're like, we are a mess. And we need somebody with kind of that strong hand and strong sense and personality to kind of get us back in the right direction, to kind of be like a slap in the face, wake up call, get us back in the right direction. But now you're getting to the like what if side of that, where it's like, well, what if they start being the issue? And it's like, again, it feels like that. It's that feeling of like, oh, we're becoming the empire. Like we are getting to that area of, okay, now the person we brought in to help is becoming the issue. Like, that's it.
You're becoming the empire with like not enough success, if that makes any sense. Like, it's not like the Red Bull who was winning week after week years ago. Like, they were on the podium last year, double podium, not as a fluke, but like it was a wet race, so there's always
it was a stars aligned in the exact right way kind of race for them. Like you said, it wasn't a fluke, but it was like everything went right for them. But it was just like, I mean, Flavio, like I said, at the helm it's all bets are off. It is dangerous waters at that team now, and everybody's gonna kind of be like walking on glass because they're just like, what the hell? Like,
I saw someone post a meme today being like, it was like a video of Franco, or like someone being like shocked, being like, Franco in Imola when he's told to crash when Pierre's in the lead, because that's what Crashgate was like.
That's exactly it's exactly what Crashgate was. Could you imagine?
Okay, I have a conspiracy theory. I saw some inklings of this on Twitter, so I feel like we need to put our conspiracy theory hats on.
Put the tinfoil hats on.
Let me preface this, nothing about this is confirmed at all. It's literally just theories that I saw on Twitter, but I thought it was very interesting. It has to do with Oliver Oakes. Oliver Oakes, I don't think would go long without a job. The man has a good reputation before he even came into the seat. And I think him leaving, we all know he was very vocal about wanting to give Jack a longer shot. He was on F1 TV and in press saying that. So I think that has to do with his outing.
Definitely.
But he's also had history with the Red Bull Junior program, okay? This is where my conspiracy theory starts. This is where I saw on Twitter. There are people on Twitter saying there's like an article, I don't think it's a very reliable source, clearly saying conspiracy theory. No one take me serious for this. That Christian Horner's life at Red Bull relies on the performance of the upgrades being brought to Imola. And if they don't perform well, I know, I told you. If they don't perform well, he might be out. And Red Bull has always said, I think Red Bull has a good relationship. They like Oliver Oakes. Do we see Oliver Oakes maybe becoming team principal of Red Bull? That's what we're saying. That it's like part of the Red Bull like brigade, the upper heads. It's like one half of the company is still backing Christian Horner, and there is another part that's kind of been on the out, I think, since last year in the whole scandal thing. But yeah, I saw that earlier, and I was like, could you imagine?
I mean, that is a big conspiracy. I will give you that. That's a big conspiracy moment.
Yes,
absolutely.
And I don't think it's like because Imola's next week. It's not like this when we're recording our Imola recap. It's not like we're getting the notification that Christian Horner's out. Like, they're not going to react that quickly, I don't think. But like at the end of this year, if they continue to drop down, is he out? And then Oliver Oakes, who has experience with the Red Bull Junior program, step on in?
I could see it being, like you're saying, end of the year. If Red Bull finished what last year? 4th in the constructors? because it was McLaren, Ferrari,
Mercedes,
Red Bull. If they finish any lower than 4th, then for this year, I could see it being he's out.
Yeah.
But
it's a huge what if, but it's
a huge
very
what
interesting
if.
to think of.
But I also I still go back to with this Red Bull demise train that started. I still trace it all the way back to Adrian Newey and
I do too,
him
because
leaving and the immediate downfall of their performance and everything.
Yep. There was a huge shift from this past weekend last year to where we are now. It wasn't immediate. Max won so many races at the beginning of the year last season, and then nothing.
It just died off
for weeks. But yeah, like I said, that's the biggest what if ever, but it was a what if that I found very interesting, and I was like, ooh. Because I don't think Oliver Oaks is not going to be without a job for a long time. There's no way.
No, I think you're right. I think he's a very well-liked guy among the paddock, and teams are going to want him and everything, and I can see it being, especially with the way it kind of went today with Flavio, and what I'm assuming is, Oliver Oaks is going to walk around, and be in touch with teams and be like, yeah, fucking Flavio kicked me out. I can see other teams wanting to hop on that and being like, this guy's a really smart guy. We should get him. Not saying he's an Adrian Newey level genius, but he's been doing decent things with Alpine since he took over and everything. So it's all right, yeah, sure. But definitely some shocking news today, because like I said, we were expecting the Dua news, not the Ollie Oaks news. And you're 100% right too. Now that Ollie is out, the Dua news is very short.
It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. When I tell you though, my eyes when Chris Medlin's notification came across my phone, I literally was like, "What?" I was shocked. But yeah, it's definitely. I literally already the graphic prep for the Franco announcement, because I have a feeling we're gonna wake up to it one day this week. It's a matter of time. It's coming. It's coming. So, but moving on from that, some fun news. 2 pieces of fun news. This will be quick. First of all, this is Tuesday, May 6th. Last night, Monday, was the first Monday in May, aka the Met Gala.
Met Gala night.
We all know that Lewis Hamilton was one of the co-chairs of this year's Met Gala. The theme of this year was super fine. It was for tailoring Black style, which is a celebration of Black. They call it dandyism and the influence of Black style in fashion history. A few years ago, Lewis's interview on the Met Gala live stream was very good. But I saw the post before. A few years ago, Lewis bought a whole table at the Met Gala, and that's not a cheap ticket.
Of course.
He bought a whole table to bring in unknown Black fashion designers and stuff to give them a platform and everything. And then that's when he said he's been talking to Anna Wintour about maybe doing something like that. And then finally this past year, him and along with some other notable Black actors, singers, professionals were also co-chairs. But yesterday was the Met Gala. His outfit was very, very nice. It was a beautiful white, it's ivory suit. He had a brooch with a flower. There was, I think it was mother of pearl details on the leg, but it was you saw a lot of super tailored suits, and his was a very well tailored suit.
Yeah.
But from racing the most disappointing race in Miami on Sunday to he probably hopped on that plane so quick and was like, get me the hell out of Miami.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Someone posted and says, I don't know how to explain it, but that's a different man than the man that raced yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
I was it's so true.
100% it's a different man, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, it looks very, very nice. What?
No, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, do we want to talk about Joshua Pierce and his outfit?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay,
I did.
all right.
Which half of it wasn't even shown on the
broadcast
of the live stream, but Joshua Pierce is the character name in the new F1 movie. What's his actual
Oh, that's the character's name?
Yeah, his real name is
Oh, isn't it
Damson Idris. Yeah,
Yeah, Idris. Yeah, I had that in my
Idris.
head.
He showed up yesterday, and I will not lie. When he first popped up on the screen, I said, "Oh no," because they showed him on the screen, and he was in the Apex race suit, the white race suit from the movie. Obviously, a little bit different because the legs were a little flared out.
Yeah,
But in the Apex race suit with a sick, bejeweled Tommy
it
Hilfiger
looks so
helmet,
good.
which the way the flag was for Tommy Hilfiger was very looked exactly like the Monaco flag. So Charles Leclerc, there's your Monaco helmet.
There it is. Yeah,
Showed up like that. He walks onto the carpet, and then two of the workers come out and basically rip apart his suit to
his
show
race
a
suit. Yeah,
super rip apart his race suit to show a beautiful like maroon red suit underneath, and it was very beautiful. But he kept the helmet on at first, and I was like, "That's sick." I was like,
yeah.
"That's so good." Um, People were a little weirded out about. They're like, "How are they doing like promo for the movie at the Met Gala? Like, how Anna Wintour like allow that because it's such a high class like
Yeah.
black tie event?" And I'm like, "Well, first of all, Lewis Hamilton's one of the co-chairs, so I think
He
it
got some
was
sway
approved."
there. Yeah.
But specifically on the suit, and the suit that he was wearing was Tommy Hilfiger, and obviously the helmet. But someone posted this one account on Twitter posted it's a Lewis Hamilton account. Reposted one of the photos saying, "And it doesn't happen without Lewis Hamilton. Think about it." She continued, "Lewis brought Tommy Hilfiger back to F1 with the Mercedes partnership, then
Yep.
brought Tommy and Mercedes into the F1 movie he's producing, and then um, Damon Idris plays a lead role in the movie and is dressed in Tommy Hilfiger." So like that's
It all
how
ties. Yeah, it all ties back to Lewis.
it
Like,
all like it literally it represents. Obviously that's what someone was like, "It looks tacky," and I replied to it on Threads. I was like, "No, it doesn't, because it's more than just promoting the movie. Yes, they're promoting the movie, but it's literally
yeah,
representing Lewis and his involvement in the fashion world. Lewis bringing fashion into the F1 world, and
yep,
F1 being in the fashion world now. Like it's so much. It's literally representing Lewis Hamilton. That was,
yeah.
I felt like, what it made. It was such a metaphor for Lewis and what he's talked about before with fashion and stuff. But yeah, what they didn't show, they released today. He drove the car up to the
I
tent.
saw that too. Yeah, the fact that that's how he pulled up was he drove the car. I
Yeah,
guess I'm assuming from the movie or what
or like a different one.
or
Yeah,
like like a model of it up to the red carpet. I'm guessing.
yeah.
Like yeah, it's I loved it. I understand that the Met Gala is a place where it's like you're not really getting like promotions and you don't really want to see the
Mm-hmm.
commercials, quote unquote. But it's like him doing that. I agree. It's a perfect analogy for
Yeah.
Lewis and everything. The fact that you have Lewis as a co-chairman and the story that it's kind of telling with the outfit and everything is awesome. And it's just like, yeah, bring it in. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was. Listen, like yes, it was an advertisement for the movie, but it wasn't like he was there constantly talking about the movie, like all this stuff.
Exactly.
It was tied into his outfit. He still made it about the outfit,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just like, hey, I'm doing this really cool F1 movie. Your co-chairman is an F1 racer.
Yeah.
Here you go. Like I
That's
thought it was
what
great. I loved it.
that's what someone was like. I had someone else on Threads. The same person was like, I thought like I didn't want to take away from Lewis, and I was like, I don't think it took away from Lewis at all.
I
I
don't
said, if
think. Yeah, I
anything
think it
we
added
learned
to him.
last night, exactly, it added to Lewis, and it's solid. It's more confirmation last night that Lewis Hamilton is 10 times bigger than F1.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
so much bigger than F1. It's no like he's it's just Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
He's Sir Lewis Hamilton for a reason. But yeah, no, the F1 movie promo was great. They also did sick promo at the race this past weekend as well. Did you see that for the soundtrack?
I didn't see anything for the soundtrack. I saw that they had a garage, like a fake garage, but then I
Yeah.
also did listen to the song. The song's pretty good. I like it.
They had the garage set up, but media day on over most of the garages was every artist that's on the soundtrack.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. So
Very
that's how
cool. Yeah.
they like released who was on the soundtrack. Um, but yeah,
I'm kind
F1
of
at the
hyped
Met
for that
Gala.
soundtrack. That
Kind
soundtrack
of like
seems packed.
Yeah, it's very packed. I was cracking up. People were so convinced that Charles Leclerc was going to be at the Met Gala because of Lewis, and I was like, I love Charles, but the man doesn't deserve to be at the Met Gala. He doesn't
Yeah.
deserve it yet. He does not. Like,
I think I could see him getting there,
I can see him
but
getting there too. And people thought like his girlfriend would have been there with him, and I was like, that's not how the Met Gala works. You can't just bring a +1. Like,
yeah.
she's also growing in her own self, but she hasn't done anything major in the fashion world, and that's how you need to get
Right.
there.
That's
And
what the Met Gala is
yeah.
about, is the fashion.
Yeah. People are hoping now that the Met Gala is coming on that Lewis Hamilton Fashion Week will be coming back to the what's it called, to the paddock. So hopefully we'll see it come back. Moving on to one other piece of news before we get into pints and pit stops. Let's talk about maybe Owen's favorite part of the entire race weekend. We know the driver's favorite part of the entire race weekend.
Oh yeah, they loved it.
The best driver's parade maybe ever. I mean, Lewis Hamilton literally said that was the most fun they've ever had during a driver's parade. The life-size Lego cars. Sick.
I just like it. That stuff always amazes me because it's like, it's the fact that they were drivable too. Like this is what I'm trying to get across is like, not only did those cars be built by hand, also over 2.5 years they were built, those cars.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also the fact that they did it, they were drivable, and the drivers could sit in it. Like, I didn't realize that it was going to be
both
drivers sitting in the car, and they were driving the cars themselves. Like, I thought it was going to be like the driver parade was like the normal. They were in the back of the truck, and then around the truck would have been people driving the cars, trained people. So the fact that it was them driving it and everything, and you could tell they were having the time of their life with it.
Like, they turned into little kids literally in 2 seconds.
And rightfully so. Like, think about like the surrealness of that. Like, I'm sitting in a Formula One car built by Legos, and I'm driving around a track that people are like watching me at. Like, one of the
I think Alex Albon was like, this doesn't seem like, I think he literally said that. He's like, this is insane. This does not seem real.
No, the fact that happened is wild. And it was so cool. I honestly make driver parades more unique and more interactive like that. Make them better like that. Because that was a hit. People love that. The drivers love that. The content, it was great from it. Like, the content
we were getting from the drivers, Lewis's TikTok video is so funny. The zoom in when they crashed into, because I mean, then they started crashing into each other, so it was like it was probably all over this track. But like at one point, the Alpine's literally driving in the middle of the Mercedes and the Ferrari. There's that one photo of Charles Leclerc, and he has the biggest smile on his face. You can't even see his eyes. He's smiling that hard.
It's like, it just looked so cool, and it's just like. Yeah, like, make them more unique like that. Make them better. Screw the interviews. I don't want to hear the drivers speak before the race starts. We already know what they're going to say anyway.
Yep.
Give them something fun like that. Like,
give them something fun like that. So when we go to Canada, can they drive Zambonis? Please and thank you.
That'd be fucking amazing.
One drives and one waves like they're on the ice, like when they're on the ice.
That'd be so good. That honestly. I would be, if it's just going off of Canada just because you said it. If I am a Canadian GP race organizer, manager, whatever it is, I am immediately going to someone and saying, is there any way that we can do something like this? What do you think? Like, can we do Zambonis? Can we do, I don't know, whatever? Like, just make it something more unique than let's toss them on the back of a truck and interview them.
Like Monaco, you do like how they just had like sometimes they do the historic GP in Monaco. Do that, make them drive old cars. It's Monaco. You think of Monaco, you think of the wealth. I know Prince Albert has that freaking car garage,
right?
Half of Charles Leclerc memorabilia. Make them do that. Yeah, it's just you can probably easily think of something like Coda. Let them ride on a horse. Let them go on horseback.
Let them ride on a horse. Let it, like, God damn,
Vegas,
it'd be so good.
I don't know, a working slot machine. Like, they can easily do something for each race. But
you can make it very, very unique. Yeah, I mean, That's the thing. Like Miami now, like doing the Legos, like whoever birthed that idea, great job. First of all, that's a genius idea. And like, you got to do it from here on out.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and it was so cool because like anyone could go up and see them. They had like a garage style thing. So I
yeah,
did walk over and see them, and like they just had each car lined up like it was in a garage, and it was
yeah.
so cool to see them like that. Yeah, no, it was. Shout out to Lego having something like that at the track. Like it was a cool activation that they had.
Yeah. And you know what?
In
For
Miami.
Lego having that brand new partnership with Formula One and everything, and to do something like this and have it be this successful, like right off the bat, people love that. Lego must love that. Like,
honestly, in Coda or Vegas, since another US race, I mean, life size Hot Wheels is just the cars they drive, but like they do a go-kart version of the car that they
there you
drive.
go. Like
to another brand. But yeah, it was too perfect. The Legos, it was so good.
I loved
To the
it.
fact that people are still talking about it, like people are still posting on social media.
Yeah, the fact that the videos are still being shared around, people are like finding new like footage and like all this stuff, and it's just like, yeah, like it was just like one of those moments where it's like, why have we not thought of this sooner? Like,
Yeah.
And I guess we did. Like I said, they've been being built for 2.5 years, so it's like somebody did think of it sooner, but
somebody did. Yeah, no, exactly.
But I loved it. I thought it was great.
Same.
Yeah, very good. Good work, Lego.
It was good work, Lego. And the cheapest merch they had at the race, which says something. Find some pit stops. Everyone knows the rules.
Oh boy.
5 questions. 1 bite. 5 questions. I won't start the timer until I finish reading the last question. He will lose a second for every question he gets right, or he will gain a second for every question he gets wrong.
Right.
Are you ready? This is all Miami GP.
All Miami GP. This is tough because we were at the watch party and we were like talking to people and everything. So, okay. All right, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Who was the first to DNF? Come on.
I can't even think of a name. Jack Doohan.
What was the biggest gap Oscar had?
16.2.
Who had the fastest pit stop of the race?
Charles Leclerc.
Who won driver of the day?
Alex Albon.
What caused Liam's retirement?
A hole in the side pod. Fuck me. God damn.
Oh my god, you did so bad. I hate to tell you, you did so bad. Your starting time 32.97.
Oh, my mind just went blank. Nothing.
32.97.
Oh.
Who was the first? Okay. Who was the first to DNF? You got that correct. That was Jack Doohan.
Oh,
so you go down 31. Yeah, but that was the only one you got right.
First of all, fuck you for doing that. This is brutal.
Now,
that's the only one you got right.
Now I'm second guessing the time I have down for what was Oscar's biggest gap because I saw 9 seconds.
I'm not wrong. I am wrong on that one though.
Okay.
16.2 is how much Alex Palou won the race.
Yeah,
by.
okay. I was like, Alex Palou won by a decent gap. Who had the fastest pit stop of the race? You were wrong. That was Sauber. Stig Sauber had the fastest pit stop. They went like 2-2, I think.
Good for them.
This was kind of what's it called? This was kind of a judge because they didn't show it on the broadcast and they didn't post it anywhere for a very long time. Who won driver of the day? It was actually Oscar Piastri, but Alex Albon should have won. Alex Albon should have won.
So Oscar won?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been Alex, yeah.
Yeah, it should have been Alex. And then what caused Liam's retirement? I'll give you this one because it was damage to his side pod, I believe, or the side of his car. But it was actually the crash that he had with Jack Doohan earlier in the race, the contact. But he didn't retire until like almost the end.
Yeah.
So you have 3 wrong. So you went down 31, then back up 32. So 34.97. That might be your worst time ever.
That is atrocious. That is really, really bad. Oh, why didn't he get my time? Wait. What was it again? 32.97. I got
3 wrong.
2 questions right, 3 wrong. Oh, I just did it too fast. Okay. Oh, my gosh, that is tough. That brings my average time to 30 seconds. God damn.
Yeah.
That is brutal. Just brutal.
But yes.
All right. Well, going off of that miserable performance, this is Miami recap, and as always, our Miami race recap is brought to you by Furious Motorsports. We've been posting these guys a lot lately because they've dropped some sick T-shirts. I love them.
Yes.
Please make sure somebody's at your house, Case.
Did that come through pretty good?
Yeah, I heard that. Go check out Furious Motorsport. Go use the link in our link tree, which is found in the link in our bios on our social medias. When you guys use that link, you get 10% off your order. It's also a great way to show Furious Motorsport that you guys are supporting us. You are listeners from the show. We really appreciate it. We love and appreciate when we know that people are ordering and using our code. We also want to thank Furious Motorsport for providing the grand prize for our fantasy league winner. Just a quick talk about that a little bit. We are now. Do you know who's leading the league now, Case?
Yeah, I saw him. He should.
Yeah.
If he's not leading, taking his title.
So this is Adam. Adam is from Fantasy. He is a genius when it comes to the fantasy league. We've had him on an episode previously, and he is just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to F1 fantasy. So he is in the league, or he's in the lead of the league. My bad. So right now he's in the running to get his very own Furious Motorsport jersey. So that'll be really nice. But like I said, thank you, Furious Motorsport, for working with us. We are so thrilled. Casey's wearing her jersey right now, actually, now that I think about it.
I am.
And I actually take a look. She's wearing her Leclerc jersey. That is her hockey jersey. And yeah, the T-shirts that they came out with are sick. I love them. They're the coolest things I think I've ever seen. I want one so bad. But with that being said, going into it, Miami recap. Wild race, first of all.
Wild race.
Let's talk sprint.
Also, before we get started, I never want to hear that Miami is a boring track ever again. You can't overtake, you can't pass, you can't do this or that, because we saw some great overtakes this weekend in both the sprint and and the actual race. But yes, starting with the sprint race. Go ahead.
Sprint race, great race.
Started slow.
Wet race. Well, not really. Yes. It started slow because before the race even began, Mr. Charles Leclerc was out of the race. Did he aquaplane into a wall, or did he just lose control? And
he aquaplaned because the team put him and Lewis on the inters instead of put him on full wets or something. They put him and Lewis on the wrong tires. Because Lewis also had a moment during warm-up laps and almost lost it as well.
Right.
And he just aquaplaned and ended up in the wall. Literally, as I am sitting down in my seat to watch the sprint race. That happens.
So Charles is out before the race even begins. We had Mr. Kimi Antonelli on pole, which is crazy. First of all, talk about that for a bit. The fact that Kimi puts it on pole for the sprint is wild to see. Again, just living up to the hype of what we were expecting out of him. And then he does lose it off of the start. But he only drops back to 4th, 5th.
He doesn't drop back crazy far.
Yeah, it's not like a crazy drop. And then essentially it was kind of chill until the last, 5 laps? And then you have...
Yeah, it's like maybe the last 10 laps and literally all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, so I think what kicked it off was Kimi and Max collided in the pit lane. It was an unsafe release.
Yeah.
They collide. And then Fernando and somebody else, I can't remember.
I'll give you 1 second to think who crashed into Fernando Alonso.
Is it Lance?
One driver. No. One driver who always goes after the vets.
Liam Lawson.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
literally
Okay.
he basically drove into this, like, into him, and Fernando just spins and crashes. Yeah.
So,
Oh,
right.
you also have Carlos Sainz go in for a pit stop, lose a tire,
Oh,
or he loses the
yes.
tire and then barely makes it back. And as he's pulling into the pit stop, the tire just rolls off.
Yep, that's right. And then, yeah, like you said, Liam drives into Fernando, which
Yeah.
causes the safety car, which then causes ultimately Lando Norris,
Yeah.
to win the race. And Oscar finishes second, right?
hmm
Yeah, second.
Yeah.
So, wild sprint race. And then we go into the full race.
The full race, which, yeah, the sprint race started completely wet, and by the time it was pretty dry by the end, because I myself started to dry off by the end of
Yeah.
the race because I was soaked from getting over to my seat. But yeah, start of the sprint race was dry because then qualifying was completely dry. But yeah, then it's the race, which
Should we
also,
actually? Sorry, I'm completely skipping over this part. How was your day there on
oh, my
Saturday?
day was my day
How was
was
your day?
wonderful.
I genuinely
Uh,
forgot you were there because you were
because
at the watch party watching the race
it
Sunday.
also still doesn't feel like I was actually there. Like,
Yeah,
I'm being dead honest. I don't. I keep looking at the videos I took. I really don't believe that I was fully there. Um, my day was great. It started off great. I got out of the Uber. I walked on my way up, and then it started raining. When I got there, I went right up into the Hard Rock just to get my bearings. I knew where I was in the Hard Rock, and then I knew where to go. Um, as I was up there in the Hard Rock for the first time, it was around the side that was the back of the Ferrari hospitality. So I got to see Lewis come out. So I took a video of Lewis coming out, and then I put my phone away. And literally 2 minutes later, Charles comes out. So I whip my phone out
of
super
course.
quick. I do that video because he like looked up at the fans that I was like around and waves to everyone. So that's a good video. But yeah, it was so cool because I was over in the marina section, the fake marina, which is
Yeah,
that nice turn. So like you did get to see the cars come around before they go off into that first long straight at the race. So yeah, it was really really cool. Also, because last year we never went over to that side of the track, so it was cool
no,
to
we
see
never.
that side
Yeah,
of the track and stuff. And that's over on that side was the Lego stuff. So after the sprint race, I went back up to the Hard Rock, got some food, got to see Mark, talked to Mark for a while, and then went back down as the girls were getting ready to start for their first race. Um, and walked over to see the Lego cars, and then went back to my seat for the sprint race or for qualifying. And then just seeing qualifying in person that close is so it's just so cool, like, because you can really obviously on TV, you can tell the difference between who's doing the slow lap and who's doing the fast lap, but, like,
right.
seeing it in person, especially around that bend, like, a
Oh,
lot of
sure.
because, like,
Yeah,
the ones that slow down, the driving line was basically on the outside of that turn, so, like,
right.
got closer to where I was sitting, and then they would go up the little, like, S turn. So seeing the other cars slow down and then they would come whipping around was really cool to see. Also seeing kind of a wet race in person. I've always maybe wanted to see one in person, but being able to like actually see it with the spray with
Yeah.
like the safety car was really cool to take in um as well. But yeah, it was a perfect. I'm so happy I went. I think if I didn't go, I would have been pissed because I was so close and didn't take the opportunity to go. Um but yeah, I'm so happy that I got to go over. But yeah, my day was good. Thanks for asking.
Very good. Like I said, I completely like it. It like you were saying it doesn't register to you. It barely registers to me because
Yeah.
it's like you said, we were there together in Philadelphia
hmm
watching the race for our watch party. So it's like the fact that, and you posted a great video by the way of this too, where it's like 4 p.m. on Saturday and watching the race in person, and then it's like 4 p.m. on Sunday and you're in Human Robot.
Philadelphia. Yeah.
But yeah, I especially too like you make a good point because it's like I remember sitting down and watching the replay for the sprint race and thinking like, oh, like you're there, like it was really cool to
hmm
think about, and like you said, like seeing a wet race in person has got to be a cool thing as well. I would definitely,
Yeah, it's very cool.
but
It is also just like cool because I think because last year where we watched from, I loved watching from up that high. but like being in the grandstand. So,
Oh
like,
yeah,
anytime Lewis came around, like qualifying Q2, he was almost out. So like when he finally set that lap at the last possible second, when he came around after everyone knew he was through, you would have thought he just won the race with the way people were
right.
cheering for him.
People
And
were
like
freaking
every time
out.
Lando came around, he cheered. Every time Charles came around, he cheered. Yeah, it just sitting within the crowd was really, 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 really
Yeah,
cool.
I was jealous of you too because, like you said, in some of your videos, when you're sitting in the crowd, you can hear that they have
Yeah.
F1 TV like broadcast playing as well, which is nice because it's like obviously when you're watching a race in person, you're not seeing the entire track. You know, you're only able to see one part. So when you can have the broadcast going like in the background, it's like, oh, you still feel like connected to it and everything, and you're like there watching it in person and whatnot. So yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it
Like I
was
said,
perfect.
I'm thrilled that you were able to go. I'm thrilled for you to be going to Montreal as well. That's
Yeah,
gonna be great.
I can't wait. That'll be it was a whirlwind, but I'm so happy I
Yeah.
like took the day and went. But yes, back to the race.
So yeah, race day Sunday. Just I mean,
A
chaotic.
little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of
Just
everything.
not a red flag. Just
No
good.
red flags. We did have 2 or 3 VSCs. We never had a full safety car.
No, yeah, we had 2. We had when Jack DNF because he didn't make it fully back, and then we
Yeah.
had when not Leo.
Ollie?
No, Bortoletto. When Bortoletto pulled
pulls
off.
out.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was just like, honestly, a really good race. I
It was a
enjoyed
really
it.
solid race. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very good race.
I think it was overall, I'll say this because it was just like I said, we were watching it at the watch party, so it's like really hard to get like details when you're watching it at the watch party. The battle again, you get another battle between Max and Lando,
And Max and Oscar. It was Max and the McLarens. That was the full battle of the race.
Speaking of Max and Oscar, because it's quicker to say than Max versus Lando, the calculated move that Oscar pulls to get in front of Max I think is a beautiful microcosm for Oscar as a racer.
Yep.
And is a dangerous sign for Drivers' Championship this year. The battle between Max and Lando, again, like scrappy, elbows out. They're like getting pissed off with each other.
We literally turned to each other. We were like, next time they have a battle like that, contact is happening.
They're gonna make contact with each other.
Yeah.
But it was great. I mean, overall, a weekend for McLaren. I mean, you get 1-2 in the sprint race, and you get 1-2 in the real race. Just flip your driver order. I mean, that's a great weekend, and that's a huge win for them for the Constructors' Championship. I mean, the points haul that they just got is absurd.
Huge.
Yeah.
No, and I do think it is off. Like, it sucks because Max was so screwed by the timing of the one virtual safety car because I think he easily should have been on the podium. But the one safety car, I think he pit right before, so he got screwed. And then ended up George getting third. But, like, I mean, the McLarens showed their true potential, and they look like Red Bull of 2023 out there on track. Like, at one point, I mean, George was like 30 seconds behind.
Yeah.
By the end. He was so far behind by the time the race ended. Like, they were truly in their own race at the front, just driving a clean race.
It definitely is, like, it's McLaren's season. And it's like, all right, they're definitely in the spot that Red Bull was in 2023.
Yeah. They have 2 competent number 1 drivers.
Yeah.
You can easily call both of them number 1 drivers. Yeah, if for some reason they were to walk away not winning the Constructors, I'd be like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, if there's a collapse here, it's their fault. It's
time
definitely
they need to look inward.
Yeah.
But, I mean, no, they showed they're scary good. That car is scary.
It's very good. Yeah, it's very good.
It's like you hope some of the Imola upgrades. I think Imola is going to be the first time we see a decent amount of good upgrades, you're like, I hope they work, and then the field's closed down because
Yeah.
that's how they're winning. The rest, I mean, we didn't see Oscar until he crossed the finish line.
No, we saw Oscar. We saw Oscar at 3 points. It was the start of the race. It was his fight with Max, and it was the finish of the race. That's when we saw Oscar.
Air in front of Max, and he was gone.
Yep. See ya.
Like, okay, bye. But yeah, no, it was. That's a gap I wish I saw in person between the McLarens and George, because it's probably felt like a lifetime.
It felt so long, and
yeah,
it's just I mean, insane that they were able to do that. But
yeah,
I mean, it's just like
the momentum's with McLaren.
Yeah,
it's with McLaren. I'm just gonna do this right now, quickly.
Get it over with. Yeah, there it is.
For Ferrari, this is all they get. I don't even care about talking to them anymore. Actually, I will say something quick, but this is what they get. Double, because what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
That was maybe the lowest of low weekends they could have had. And you know what scares me so bad is Monaco's in 2 races, and that car hates slow corners, and that's all Monaco is. I'm so scared because Charles Leclerc can pull that car across I just realized I have the wrong banner up for the entire time. Charles Leclerc can pull that car across and probably get pole position in Monaco, but it's just like, that car sucks. They had more fun driving the Lego cars than they did the real cars.
Yeah. Like you said, Lewis could not wait to get out of there to go to the Met Gala after that race, and the way that Ferrari handled everything. So
bad. The communication, awful. It was almost borderline awkward, like the McLaren from last year, where they're like the radio messages back and forth. It was just the absolute worst. It's so hard being a Ferrari fan, but the absolute worst weekend from Ferrari. And that's all I'll say. We can move on.
Yeah, it definitely, I won't sit here and rant about them too, but it definitely was something needs to be figured out with Ferrari, and very quickly, like you said, Monaco's in 2 weeks. We know, or 2 races. We know how big of a race that is for Ferrari. We know how big of a race Imola is for Ferrari. Like, it's just, you have to figure this out, and hopefully you can salvage a second place in the Constructors' Championship, but
you're going into another triple header. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like right now, it's just like you're just going downhill for Ferrari. But
they're only at 95 points. Someone said they're closer to the bottom than they are to the top 3. Yep. That's atrocious. That's literally disgusting. From the team that could have won the Constructors last year in Abu Dhabi. Like, that's awful.
And it's also sucks too, because it's like you have, like, right there at the end of the race, it's Lewis and Carlos in a deep battle, like a
First of all,
tough battle for P8.
Yep.
Like, it's like
when Lewis and Charles were arguing back and forth, I'm like, we're fighting for 7th here, people.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you gotta love the 2 sides of the coins of that, because it's like, there's Carlos fighting for P8, and you're like, oh my God, Carlos is getting P8. Like, that's awesome.
Like, in a freaking Williams.
In a Williams. And then you're like, oh, there's Lewis fighting for P8. Like, it's just, there's a lot of expectations on the teams. I know we had a lot of expectations for the teams. I feel like the entire F1 community had expectations for this team, and it's just not being met right now.
No. No, not at all. It's so depressing.
It's very depressing. But
that's why I've never seen Charles Leclerc look like that in a post-race press conference, in the media pen ever.
He was defeated. He was defeated.
He was defeated and pissed.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen him look defeated before, but I've never seen him look pissed like that. Like, that was alarming, but things need to change drastically. But it was just all around. Like we said, they put them on the wrong tires during the warm-up laps in the sprint race. Like, what were we doing?
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? Get it together.
It was peak 2022 Ferrari strategy.
No, literally.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching a team run by Mattia Bonanno. Like, literally, I was like, what the hell is happening? You mentioned Carlos, so that it's perfect to go into Williams.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, That contact at the end, I don't know what Carlos was doing, but I don't
Yeah.
feel like that was necessary.
At that point, it's like, listen, I'm not saying, because I understand saying this to a racer is like a slap in the face, but like at that point, you're going around the second to last turn. Like, how much of it is, go for it or risk
Like,
damaging
he easily
the
could have
car?
crashed so bad he would have been out of the race. No point.
Right. But, yeah, it's just not needed from Carlos, in my opinion.
No.
I
mean,
think.
He didn't get anything, but.
Right. So, sure, fine, whatever. On the other hand, you have Alex
Albon
going P5, having the time of his life. He loved it. He loves that car
so
right now.
Good.
He's having a blast, and it's so funny because it's like I'm always like I'm in and out of the Williams hype train for this year, because it's like I see Carlos struggling, and then I see Alex go and do this, and I'm like, yeah.
It's because you know what Carlos can. If you know what Carlos can do with a decent car, but then you're like, Alex Albon finally has a decent car that's to his liking. Like, it's finally working.
God, it's so good. And it's just and he is loving it. But it's, it's like if Carlos can find comfortability in that car,
which I do think he has.
He's getting there. He's 100% getting there.
Yeah, I do think he has it. But that's a team debrief I would have paid money to sit in on, because we just said Ferrari had bad communication. The communication between the two garages, atrocious.
Oh, yeah.
Carlos was pissed that Alex passed him in the beginning, which was a beautiful overtake. Which we're not talking about that double overtake at one point when the Ferraris overtook. Was it Carlos?
Yes.
At the same
somebody.
time.
Yeah, it was very nice. Very nice.
It was a Williams. That was a beautiful overtake. But so Carlos was pissed because he thought it was going to be like Singapore, or not Singapore, Saudi Arabia, where they kind of did teamwork together. So we thought once Alex got past him, Carlos would get past, but it didn't work out that way, because Carlos is being told Alex would help him. Alex was not being told the same piece of information on his side. So Alex was doing what he was being told, which was to keep going.
Keep driving. Yeah. Was to race.
Yeah, so Carlos was pissed, being like, I don't know what, all this stuff. I thought he would have helped me, a teamwork thing. People were like, if that was a team debrief, I would have paid money to be. But yeah, no, I'm up and down with the Williams too, because it's they have good weekends, and then the next weekend it's are you okay? And then they go back. But
I also, I gotta say, it's not related to it is related to Williams, but it's there's this Instagram reel going around where it's this Williams comeback Instagram reel. It's a hype video for Williams, and it's awesome because it's the editing in it is great, and it cuts to this James Vowles quote, which I love, and it's he's break everything. He's you have this opportunity that you will never again have it in your life. Break everything. Go from there, and it jumps into the preseason testing footage that we got of Carlos in the car and everything. There's all those sick angles and looks great. They cut to that and there's music playing, and I'm just Williams is good. And then I watch this and I'm okay, Williams is good, but they're not
there yet.
They're not that good, but
they're not that good. But no, they're. Yeah, I'm excited for them because they obviously we've been saying they have two good drivers, but yeah, they're coming. But Alex Albon, I'm so here for Alex Albon's success because he deserves nothing but success.
He deserves it, yeah.
I did see some wild people saying Alex was a bad teammate for the whole Carlos thing, but then I think they backtracked once they heard that Carlos was being told something different from Alex. So but Alex Albon and bad teammate don't go in the same sentence. I'm sorry, they don't.
That feels impossible to me.
It just seems literally impossible. Trying to think of the other teams, because the other teams really had kind of DNFs and kind of okay weekends. I mean, Max Verstappen. The highlight of Max Verstappen weekend was clearly becoming a dad. That was
I saw. The thing I saw that I loved was he was they asked him what he thought about the race or something, or what are you gonna do now? And he was I'm gonna go home to Lily. And everybody was okay, sure. What else are we expecting you to do? Like,
I did love his side of the garage. They had like those pastel hats this weekend for
yeah,
Miami, but his side of the garage was only wearing the pink one on the weekend, which I thought
that's
was cute.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but shout out to Lily being the true MVP, getting her father out of media day, which we all know he hates.
Oh, he's gonna tell her that story the one day
Yeah.
and be like, "The day you were born was media day for a race of
No,
mine, and
because
you got me out of it, and I thank
I
you for
don't
that."
truly think that was the day she was born. I think she was been born for a few days. He just didn't want to leave yet. I do believe that one. But if she was born on May 1st, the anniversary of Ayrton Senna's death,
Oh yes.
also with the last team, Piquet and Verstappen, genes coming together. It's also May 1st. I put this May 1st, aka M1, aka MV1. The writing is too damn good in this stuff. Like, it's perfect, but yeah. I think someone posted they're like the future F1 champion in like 2050 or something is
Yeah,
here. Like,
I saw that. It was like,
yeah.
can't wait until I watch Lily Verstappen become
Yeah.
the first female Formula One
F1
champion.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
Which
like,
is
it
wild.
just becomes full circle at that point. Like,
Well, when we had the news that Miami was extended until 2041, people were like Lily Verstappen could maybe race
in Miami, yeah. Could
but
you
yeah,
imagine?
I'm trying to think of. Let me look at the other teams.
Honestly, the only other thing that I had to say was Max and leaving the go back to be with Lily and everything. So that's the thing. Like I said, it's hard because we were in, human robot, so we can't get a lot of details. We're kind of in and out. Go ahead.
There is probably one thing you want to talk about. You put it in your unfiltered and unedited post about Hadjar, Yuki getting the 5 seconds.
Oh yes, okay. So all right, that I don't think he got it. Looking back on it now,
No, he didn't.
I don't think he got it. I was so bummed that Hadjar was like literally right there on getting into points, especially because Yuki had that 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Hadjar must have finished the race. I think it's like 5.005 away from Yuki. It's like very close. At times he was there, at times that he wasn't, but I was bummed about that just for that. It was kind of cool to have because at one point the only battle we were seeing on track was between Hamilton and somebody else. Everybody else had at least 3 seconds of separation between each other. And we were getting down to the final waning laps. So then when Yuki had that 5-second penalty, it was nice because then my eyes were instantly snapping to, okay, where's Isaac? Once I knew it was Isaac, I was like, oh, I hope Isaac can get in there. Like, that'd be great if he could. And then just watching the laps tick down and him not do it, I was bummed about. But
I was trying to see if I could see the difference on the replay live timing. Let me go back. Yeah, he literally, I think, lap 56, he was 5.040.
yeah, like I said, it was a matter of it wasn't a matter of tenth of a second. It was hundredth or thousandths of seconds he was separated from.
Which sucks because Isaac did have a good weekend. Isaac's doing well in that car, but yeah, it would have been nice for him to be in the points. Which we then saw, we can finish on this part, which we then saw that they were telling George or Max to get within 5 seconds of George. And at first we were like, for what? Like, it didn't make sense, but Red Bull apparently had it. They thought he had yellow flag infringement or safety car?
They thought he violated a yellow flag somewhere. Or one of the virtual safety cars somewhere, and we're telling Max to stay within 5 seconds to him.
Because that would have been the penalty, so Max would have ended up on the podium. But they protested and they came back that they did not find it, everything. But that that picture of them, of Toto and George talking to half of Red Bull post race is why did Christian Horner need that many people behind him?
Yeah, it's weird that it's so many Red Bull people and then just Toto and Christian and George. But
that was Miami was a good one. Like I said at the start, I never want to hear people trash Miami again because they give us some good damn races. Okay.
Yeah, I understand some people's complaints, but the only complaints that I understand are the newfound complaints where people are like, Miami was extended for 2041, and we're
which is wild.
Start rotating tracks like Spa and Imola and stuff like that, where you have these legendary long-running tracks that are now getting rotated out for Miami. I understand that. That sucks to see.
I do too.
But yes, Miami is a very exciting track to watch. I think it's a great track. Like I said, I'll always be biased to it. It holds a special place in my heart now. But it is a fun track. It's not like Monaco where it's like you can never overtake. It's you know whatever you're watching from qualifying is whatever the race is going to be. Like it's a good track.
It's a good track. I was so weird walking up on Saturday. The girls were on track, so I could like hear the cars, and I was like, "Why do I want to cry?" Like,
I don't blame you.
Overwhelming. Like I'm here again. I didn't know if I would be here. Like I was just like, okay, this is good. But yes, Miami. That was Miami. We won't spend too much time on IndyCar. Well, there's really no. We talked about the one mailbag question, which was from Chris, of course, with what do we think about Max versus McLaren? And we talked about that one. So that was really the only question we got.
Well, even regardless, there's only one person that I want to talk about for IndyCar, and that is fucking Christian Lundgaard.
Insane.
The man is on a burner in that McLaren, and he is killing it. And the same way that I said Oscar's overtake were on Max was so cold and calculated and so good. Christian had like 5 of those during this race.
Oh, when he says "see ya," James Hinchcliffe on even the 30, right? When he's like, sometimes I don't like when they come over the radio. I'm like, say something. He goes, but that one was.
It was so good.
So good.
It's just that man is doing something with that McLaren car that it is just working for him. McLaren is thrilled with it. Like, and you know what?
For them.
Oh yeah, and you know what I'm really happy about in the 30-minute highlights. They show like Alex Palou winning and everything, and they show him getting out. But then they cut to Christian Lundgaard going over to like the crew chief and everything, and like slapping him on the back, and they're all like hugging each other and everything. And all the commentators, like I said, like James and everything, are like, yeah, like he deserves that. Like that is like an all-time drive from Christian Lundgaard.
No, that was such a good drive, and I think they said it. I don't know if it was specifically about car number 7, which is Lundgaard's car. Like, out of all the years, that car has only been on the podium like 4 times, and he just went 3 in a row.
Yes, yeah, they did say it. So it's like in McLaren's history as an IndyCar team, which is from 2020. They said that car number 7 has only been on the podium for 4 times, and now in their first season with Christian Lundgaard as a driver, in 3 out of 4 races, he's been on a podium.
And he's now 2nd in the championship.
Right. And it's just, I mean, he drove out of his mind. I mean, the other person that we can say drove out of his mind too, Alex Palou. He wins by.
Well, you saw him at the start, and then he was.
Yeah.
When he won.
Had a straight up Max Verstappen win of just see you later. I'll talk to you guys at the finish line. So. Great race from him. Great race from Christian.
It was at the end, I think they showed, like, when the map comes up at the end, and they have, like, the numbers, like, they're tracking them.
Yes, yeah.
It was literally, like, he was more than halfway around the track compared to Christian. Like, he was so...
He was flying.
He was so far ahead, but, no, the first part of that half of that race for Christian Lundgaard was insane. Also, Alexander Rossi, who...
Oh, he was on a tear as well. Yeah. First half of the race for him, he's up like 13 position or something like that. Like, at first he was the biggest mover, but then I think it ended up being Scott Dixon because I think Scott Dixon went up 13 places. Rossi went up 9, but like the way Rossi was passing people at the start, that was great. Let's talk about that start too. Clean.
Well, not just the start. They mentioned it in the broadcast, and I also saw it. There has not been a caution since St. Pete, which is
300
kind of
laps of
insane and
green flag racing.
Yeah. For IndyCar.
It's absurd. But so much fun.
Green flag racing and a 3-stop race. When they said it's going to be a 3-stop race, I was like, oh, that's what dreams are made of.
So they say that in the beginning of the highlights, and they're like, this is going to be a 3-stop race. And I can't remember if it was Will or if it's Hinchcliffe who says it, but he goes, I love that teams are committing to a 3-stopper here because it lets the drivers use the fuel and use the tires and everything, knowing like, okay, I have that third stop and everything, and I can change. And he was like, and it's not this, okay, I'm only trying for 2, so I have to nurse these tires. I have to nurse my fuel and everything. So it is,
that track is fun to watch. Like, you can see the elevation changes watching it on TV.
It's cool. It's very nice.
That's a good one.
The other thing, this is like the last point that I really wanted to talk about with IndyCar, and it's specifically for the highlights because I was able to watch the 30-minute highlights and that's it. You can tell that IndyCar is an American sport because in the highlights, they're pumping advertisements at you the whole time. Like, they're like, when they're talking about Scott Dixon and him like making up 13 positions, they're like, and we're gonna go to the pods big mover of the day. And I'm like, I'm watching the fucking highlights and you're feeding me this thing.
Or when they like brought in Scott McLaughlin for a pit stop and they're like, what the good rancher or whatever is coming in. Like, why are you returning to the cars?
Or they were like, or Will Buxton was like talking about something with the hybrid system, and he was like, yeah, it's something 100% renewable fuel in the car. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like, it is just
fuel.
It's just fuel. Like, I was literally just sitting there watching the highlights. I'm like,
was an ad.
I was like, this is such you can tell that it is American motorsport racing because everything is an advertisement and everything is like, even though like they cut to I forget who it is, but they have like house wiring on the car and they're like, and here comes the prefab house wiring. And I'm like, I don't know who that is, but you're giving me a fucking
You say
company.
the car number.
Like, say, here comes Scott Dixon and number whatever instead of here comes the prefab house wire car. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
shout out to our McLaren for having the same liveries every race like that, because you can't, it's not a different company. It's our McLaren. So it's so easy to figure out. Also, wait, I want to talk about one other driver, but the start of the race when McLaren goes 3 wide.
Oh, yeah, good.
That was good, too. Nolan Siegel was out for blood at the beginning. Also. He was out for blood.
I was watching him. He was chasing Newgarden for a while.
Newgarden.
Like, I was like, I hope Nolan can get Newgarden. Like, that'd be sweet. But
Newgarden was kind of like, Newgarden was kind of invisible. Rinus VeeKay.
Oh, yes.
Being stuck between the 2 Penske cars, being 10 seconds ahead of Will Power, he was so close to getting on that podium.
Yeah, he was right there.
He just had, Scott McLaughlin had like 10 more seconds to push the pass. So it ended up being not a crutch for him, like, or a plus for Scott McLaughlin, but Rinus VeeKay, I mean, they were saying in the broadcast, that car had no business being in between 2 Penske cars and doing that well. But shout out to Rinus VeeKay.
Yeah, a great race for VeeKay. I mean, it's it's gotta be a little bittersweet for him to finish fourth because it's like,
so close.
Like I was right there. But I mean, also at that point, then you're like, wow, like you said, I shouldn't have been up here in this car. Like this is crazy that I'm here. So yeah, great race for him. Overall, like both races this weekend, good, entertaining races. Like, it's not one that you're kind of like walking away from and you're like, damn, that was kind of boring.
No, because like we had Oscar and Alex Palou, or we had the McLarens and Alex Palou winning with such a gap, but the action towards the back, like the rest of the grid, was so jam-packed from start to finish.
It was good.
When because I started watching the IndyCar race right after I got home, and I was definitely half out of it. So like at first I was like, oh, this race was boring, but then watching the replay, I was like, oh no, this race was
very good.
And Georgina did not make an appearance. They didn't even show her on the broadcast.
Georgina did not make an appearance. We had no art sculptures fall. Which was great.
Creepy? I think I had it because I had the race on before the Miami, so it's not in the race recap. They like show like an overhead shot, and it's a body of water, and it looks like one of those like big sculptures is like sitting in the water. So it looks like the water's like coming up to here, and then, like you see the top of the kneecaps. It's like, that's creepy. But I kind of want to go to Barber. I kind of want to go see.
I just want to go to see all the weird shit that's around there in person. Like, and that there's like one or two that you never really see on the broadcast that you're gonna be like, what the fuck is that?
No. But I just feel like watching from there, like the views that they would show, and like people could sit on the grass on the side, like. It has to have good views. Like, it
Yeah.
just has to be a good track to watch. But, yeah, I would go see the Barber. But, yeah, very good race from IndyCar. Their next race is also next weekend at, well, it's month of May. So they're at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but it's the longer track. It's the road course, not the
That's
not
right.
the oval.
Yeah,
so
not
they'll be there.
Yeah.
And then starts the fun of the Indy 500.
Oh, yes.
But yes, I don't think I have anything else to add for IndyCar. I don't think so. But yeah,
I have nothing.
I continue to believe Christian Lundgaard is the number one McLaren driver, our McLaren driver at the moment.
He's doing very, very well right now.
Yeah. Oh, we did have another question it was not even a question from Jessie. She just said she wanted to wish Pato a happy birthday today, and I said I'll pass the message along. So
we'll let him know for you, Jessie. Don't worry.
Happy birthday, Pato.
Yeah. We'll shoot him over a text right now.
We'll send him a text. But yes, I don't have anything else to add. Do you have anything else to add?
I do not. I am good to go. Great weekends. Loved it.
Great. Yeah, 2 good race weekends.
Yeah.
Weather impacted both, I think, pretty decently. So it was literally, when I looked Saturday, I was like, it's literally raining the entire eastern seaboard of America. Like, it was raining here and it was raining down there. But yes, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week for Imola. And like I said, I think, let me double check. I don't think there's IndyCar this weekend. I swear I said next weekend, but let me just double check. We will be back next week to talk about. Oh no, it's this weekend.
IndyCar is this weekend?
Do you want to give predictions? Yeah, it's May 10th.
Oh shit. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. I don't know 1, 2, 3, but I'll certainly give my 1. I'm going Christian Lundgaard.
Winning?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's on Saturday, the race. Oh, that's nice. I can definitely watch Saturday, not until 4:30. Okay. I could do 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna agree with you. I think Christian Lundgaard gets the top step of the podium. I think it's a close at the end though, so I'm gonna go Christian Lundgaard, Alex Palou, Joseph Newgarden, just because he does love racing on that area and that track. It does use part of the oval. So I'll do Lundgaard, Palou, what's it called? Newgarden.
Yeah.
And then following that is May 25th, Indy 500. But yes, sorry for just throwing on that. I swore it was next weekend, but it was this weekend. So that means next week we will recap those IndyCar races, probably in more detail than we can. We can spend a little bit more time on it.
Yeah.
Also give predictions for Imola. I'm sure there'll be weekly news. I'm sure we'll be talking about Franco Colapinto being back on the grid.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much for joining us. Please go give us a like, comment, and subscribe over on Instagram and Threads at Underground Circuit _, on Twitter at UG Circuit Pod, TikTok _Circuit. I have a lot of content from being in Miami for 8 hours that I will continue posting. We have hopefully some fun stuff coming up, so stay tuned. Please give us a follow over there. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you so much, and we will see you all next week.
See you later, people.
Thanks for